it's me, Claire, and welcome back to my red chair as we continue to celebrate the good news happening all around us, right here on the Red Chair Chat. I'm so glad you're here. This week, we sit down with Jenny Ho, Street Outreach Services Case Manager right here at Synergy Services. As you may know, May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. But that doesn't mean the celebration, honoring, and acknowledgement of this incredible culture is limited to just May. Rather, Jenny sits with us today to share how each of us can become part of the good news by support, allyship, and education. Now, without further ado, let's welcome Jenny to the Red Chair Chat. Jenny, hello. Welcome to the Red Chair Chat. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I am well. Today, here joining us on the Red Chair Chat to celebrate all things good news, we have Jenny Ho, one of our Street Outreach Services case managers. Jenny, can you tell us a little bit about an average day here at Synergy and what you do?
Yeah, so right now I'm on the Youth Street Outreach team. We have a really small team of just 4 of us. I am a Jackson County case manager for homeless youth. I really work within the age range of 12 to 18 or 19, just really depends. But our team as a whole works from 12 to 21 for homeless or unstably housed youth.
Well, Jenny, thank you so much for the work you're doing here at Synergy every single day. I've had the privilege of seeing your hard work in action, and you truly are changing lives every single day. So thank you so much for what you're doing. Now, Jenny, as we all heard right there at the beginning of this episode, May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Now, that does not mean that honoring, celebrating, and acknowledging this culture stops after the month of May. Each of us can become part of the good news by educating, becoming allies, and learning more about this incredible culture. Now, Jenny is here with us today to share a little bit about what each of us can do to become part of the good news as we honor the diversity all around us.
So I think that with supporting Asian American Pacific Islanders during this month and every other month, it starts with education. So using resources around you to be able to educate yourself on kind of what's going on in the state of world whenever it comes to Asian American Pacific Islanders. And a great way to do that is if you have somebody within the Asian American Pacific Islander community in your life, go up to them and have a conversation with them about their experiences as an Asian American Pacific Islander in this day and age. I know that I've had a couple of coworkers from Synergy even come up to me and say like, what are your experiences as an Asian woman coming from parents of refugees, things like that. And I was able to kind of connect with them on a different level, and they got to know a little bit about who I am, because I feel like Asian American Pacific Islander community issues aren't as mainstream media, but there are a lot of similarities between my coworkers and I as far as like issues go within the community or cultural things that you might see from me. And also you can better understand these people who are your coworkers and people around you if you just simply have a conversation with them. I think a wonderful way to support Asian American Pacific Islander communities right now, of course, is to support your locals. So if you have like an Asian market down the street, or you know that an Asian American Pacific Islander runs a specific business in your area, support them. I think that's a really good resource to just start. And maybe that's the person that you talk to a little bit about their experiences and what that's like, because you never really know what that's like. And a great resource that I have found is linked right there, is the anti-Asian violence resource. And that resource is amazing. And it's just like a huge list of things that you can do to educate yourself, how to be an ally, how to donate to these causes that might need it. The very beginning of that website starts with just news articles and the latest news within Asian American Pacific Islander community. And that's a lot talking about the trend right now, Stop Asian Hate, because Stop Asian Hate actually is kind of a movement that started because Asian American Pacific Islander targeted attacks have been skyrocketed within 2020 and 2021 amongst the COVID-19 pandemic. So it's just kind of how to educate yourself about that. What did that look like before the pandemic? What that looks like now? Something that you can learn is that in New York City specifically, Asian American Pacific Islander targeted attacks increased by almost 2,000%. And I don't know if that's whether because Asian American Pacific Islanders didn't have kind of that highlight that they did right now, and that's coming to light now, or if it's because the actual pandemic is causing a lot of just disheartening racial attacks against Asian American and Pacific Islanders right now. There are also other resources on that website, just kind of how to be an ally, and how to educate yourself through, like, there's documentaries on there, there's news articles on there, there's like a Nat Geo article, I think. So if that's something that interests you, I would definitely go and try to read those things. There are a lot of GoFundMes on there to donate money if you can. Because of attacks against Asian American Pacific Islanders, I know that they try to kind of take those GoFundMes for those specific people who have been attacked and are needing kind of medical resources and things like that. So if you have that capacity, that'd be amazing. And also there are resources if you yourself are an Asian American or Pacific Islander or identify within that community and that ethnicity, to report incidents against you that happen. And if you are struggling with the pandemic as a whole and things that are happening within our community, how to help your mental health too.
Jenny, thank you so much for sharing not only aspects of your story, but ways to get involved, ways to educate oneself, and ways to make an impact as we continue to celebrate the diversity happening all around us. So Jenny, thank you so much again for joining us today on the Red Chair Chat to share how we can become the good news. You have a great rest of your day. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. Bye.
Wow. One more thank you to Jenny for joining us today on the Red Chair Chat. The resource Jenny shared can be found in the link right above. In the meantime, let us each try our best to do something every single day to educate ourselves, serve as an ally, and make a difference in becoming the good news. To each of you, thank you for tuning in to the Red Chair Chat. We'll see you next week with even more special guests and even more good news. In the meantime, stay safe, have a great weekend, and don't you forget, be kind. We'll see you next week.